What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with another Destiny 2 update, and in this one we get a whole bunch of updates from Bungie. So they talk about very late fixes for Rite of the Nine, and some of the reward boosts active at the moment. Also, they talk about known issues for launch day in Edge of Fate, which is definitely worth keeping in mind. That's alongside preload details, install sizes, and more for the next expansion. Plus, Bungie clarify a few things about playlist changes, correct some changes coming up for exotics, and we'll also talk about stuff that is going into the Destiny content vault. So I hope you guys find this one useful. Now though, let's get into it. And first up, Bungie just shared a new sort of cinematic intro for Edge of Fate, so we may as well check it out.
Something's out there, hero. It's throwing rocks at our window. Mighty curious way of communicating, if you ask me. But now that we got ourselves some coordinates, what do you say we find out where they lead?
So cool little teaser there, showing a bit more of Kepler, at least the art style for it, and that ship almost teleporting into existence, plus pretty spooky emissary of the Nine there. And the craziest thing about this one is that I think this cutscene was actually leaked many months ago when we got the first supposed details for Edge of Fate, so pretty wild that this one has actually been in the works for all that time. Either way, share your thoughts below. Next up though, let's get on to some updates from Bungie. And the D2 team said, the issue affecting the daily bonus nonary engram has been resolved, and players can now log in and visit the emissary to claim bonus engrams every day until July 15th. I think we missed a couple of days there because of a bug, so keep that in mind over the course of the weekend as we head towards Edge of Fate. Plus Bungie said they're investigating options to send players one bonus engram sometime after the expansion drops. That's the first thing. Otherwise, they add that open access to episodes Echoes, Revenant, and Heresy is now available for all players until July 15th, and all rewards, titles, triumphs, and cosmetics that are earned in the open access period will remain on accounts after July 15. So if you've been looking to head into any of those, it's worth keeping in mind. Otherwise, for playlist changes as we head into the expansion, Bungie have said starting with Edge of Fate, trials will no longer be power enabled, and while we still have a required power level of 200 to enter, combat will not be affected by Guardian power, and we hope this makes trials more approachable to a wider audience while still maintaining a competitive feel throughout the passage system, maps, and mode on offer. They also add that trials access will still require ownership of the most recent expansion, and starting July 15th, that will be Edge of Fate. So share your thoughts on those power changes for trials. Otherwise, Bungie confirms Salvation's Grip will intrinsically stun Overload champions, not unstops, when Edge of Fate drops. They previously said it would be an unstoppable exotic, but they offer that bit of clarity right there. And as we go into the expansion, Bungie have said that for the 15th of July, a few API features will be removed, and that will include community creations, groups, legacy fireteam finder, and viewer bounties in the Twitch extension. For the moment, that's all they've said on the subject. I'm not sure if they'll replace community creations or groups with something similar in future, but worth keeping all of those in mind. Next up though, Bungie say, we previously shipped a fix for the Astral Stasis Drake Hunter cowl that removed the HUD due to clipping issues, and this was later reverted so that all players who liked the visuals of the original HUD can continue to enjoy it. However, we acknowledge that there were fans of both styles, so when Edge of Fate launches, players who own the Astral Stasis Drake Hunter armor set will be able to claim the new HUDless variant from the special deliveries kiosk. Plus the bonus option will be available to anyone who purchases the armor set moving forward. So a quick update on those. Otherwise, in the TWID the other day, which I missed because I was away from home, Bungie confirmed that the new raid for Edge of Fate is called the Desert Perpetual. That's an interesting name, of course. It will drop on Saturday, July 19th, featuring a contest mode for 48 hours. The race itself will begin at 10 AM Pacific on the 19th, and Bungie have said there will be an entry requirement to complete the Edge of Fate campaign, but otherwise, completing Edge of Fate campaign at Legendary difficulty will get players contest ready, so otherwise they'll provide exact power requirements prior to launch, which I'm guessing we'll probably get next week after Edge of Fate actually drops. So firstly, keep those in mind. Otherwise, maintenance for the expansion will begin on July 15th as well. So from 4 AM PDT, D2 maintenance will begin. Then at 10 AM Pacific, the maintenance will end and it should be brought back online with the new update. So that's actually a shorter maintenance period than what we've seen previously for Destiny expansions. And preload for the update will be available prior to the game's release, depending on platforms. So for PlayStation, the update should be ready after 6 AM PDT, and it'll actually be the same time for Xbox, Steam, and the Epic Game Store. So whichever platform you play on, hopefully within 2 hours of that maintenance starting, the preload will become available. So again, it's a shorter preload period than what we've seen in the past, but otherwise, for storage space, bear in mind the numbers we can see on screen here. The column on the right is the install size after the update, so that will be the total install size for Destiny 2 once we're in Edge of Fate, but keep in mind, on some platforms we do have to have a little bit of extra space, such as on PlayStation, where it needs 319 gig to actually do the install, but the final install size is 150 gig. Otherwise, in terms of warnings for things going away, Bungie have said, be sure to claim seasonal rewards including seals, season pass items, season vendor rewards, and then all rewards on Shaxx, Zavala, Drifter, and Same 14, as well as Banshee reputation items and Bungie rewards before we get to Edge of Fate, as some items will be lost once they do the updates to vendors. Otherwise, there is a list of things being deprecated at the start of Year 8, so Bungie have said all bounties, missions, quests, engrams, and seasonal heirlooms, as well as artifacts from Echoes, Revenant, and Heresy, and Ride of the Nine, plus all ritual and pinnacle weapons and associated ornaments from tower vendors, although that gear will become available in the Monument to Lost Lights archive. Otherwise, destination materials, upgrade modules, which may still drop from older content but can safely be dismantled, and then tower reputation tracks for vendors, ritual activity engrams, trials and gunsmith bounties are all going to go away. And with all of the episode content being vaulted as well, of course that will include items like sigil shards, the Tome of Want, and the planetary piston hammer from back in Echoes. And then for destinations leaving, it will include Helm and the Market District, the Tonic Laboratory, Varys Core, Eris's Flat, and the Noiseless Chantry. So again, applying to episode activity content. And indeed, the actual game modes like Tomb of Elders or the various quest missions from any of the seasons as well. Then on exotic quests, as we can see, their current drop sources will be changed, so they'll instead start dropping from exotic missions, however Bungie feature that into the portal. So the basic way to look at it is that if it is episode content, you need to get it done before we get to July. The final thing to mention here are some changes for armor mods. So Bungie have said, with the introduction of the new ammo meter system, we've done a pass on various ammo related parts of the sandbox. So ammo finders now improve contributions to the corresponding meter, with special finder increasing special meter gains. Reserves mods on chest armor have been deprecated and replaced with ammo generation mods, which improve the ammo generation stat of weapons matching their damage type. They can also stack. Then scavenger mods will continue to work as before, with scout mods being deprecated additionally, so keep those in mind as we head into next week's reset. Plus there are additional adjustments to other specific mods, so armor mods that influence stats such as the plus 10 stat mods, artifice mods, and font mods have been converted to use the armor 3.0 stat. Basic armor stat mods now have the same mod energy cost. All plus 10 stat mods will cost 3 energy, and plus 5 stat mods will cost 1 energy. They're also reducing the benefit granted by font armor mods from plus 30, 50, or 60 for 1, 2, and 3 stacks to plus 20, 40, and 50. Then they've added a new leg armor mod called Enhanced Athletics, and that increases base movement speed and jump, so for 1, 2, and 3 stacks it will provide the equivalent of 30, plus 50, and plus 60 of the previously available mobility stat. On top of that, they outlined a pretty big hit to healing granted from collecting orbs of power with recuperation, where it goes from 70 to just 15. Obviously, there are loads of build crafting and general sandbox changes in Edge of Fate, so I'd imagine that's why, but all things worth keeping in mind as we get ready for the launch. So there we go, guys, for today, that's what we have to round up. Like I said, I was recapping a few things I missed while I was away from home, but we'll be ready for the Edge of Fate drop next week on the channel, so keep it locked and loaded. We'll have plenty to talk about. If you've enjoyed this video, a rating really does help me on the channel as well, but otherwise, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.